Shalom. I guess this is where the rubber meets the road. I would like to talk to you guys about a few things. I'm going to try to get this in before the camera shuts off. I made a video about Efrain Rodriguez, and watch that video again. I did not say he was going to die. I said in the dream that I saw, there was a web page that said that he had died, and I did not know if that meant that he died physically or if he died as in his message died. This guy's oppressing these people. I can show you testament after testament where he has oppressed these people. In the dream, I also saw the gold writing, and next to it was an Israeli flag, and it had 3 times it repeated, and the writing said a letter, a message to the oppressed, and an Israeli flag, and it was printed in the blue on the Israeli flag. A letter, a message to the oppressed. Well, the guy that he was pronouncing would die on the 1st of September is a Ashkenazi Jew who is a Pentecostal preacher. So that is the connection to that. Now, I put in my title that he dies on September 1st because he was saying that the other guy was going to die, and I wanted as much attention as I could get to that to try to free these people. That was my purpose. So, time will tell what will happen. There aren't any new reports as to either man had died. I had a recent dream also about Jorge Raschke, and I saw him in sepia tone, which is a tone that they used in old times to preserve photographs forever. And I didn't know what that meant, and it said he was one that God was man, I can't remember the name of it now, but I wrote it in my book, and my book is over there, that he was like chosen, or he was favored. That's the word God used. He was favored. So I don't know what's going to happen. Anyway, I know that he's a Jew and he preaches the gospel. Anyway, so you can watch my video. I say it again. Now, when I printed it out, I should have stated that more clearly whenever I put it in writing to people. I do not know what it meant. My phone was switching dates, so I thought maybe this had something to do with it. Anyway, back to the beginning. You can say things as many times as you want on YouTube, and people listen to that, and they hear totally different than what you say. Now, I'd made a video back in 2011, and I said that I saw the pastor of our church in this dream, and he was wearing this beautiful blue shirt that sparkled, and he had this really nice slacks on, and he stopped, and I went into a little country church, and it was packed wall to wall. There was gold Christmas garland on the wall, and the pastor stepped out in front of me in the middle of the crowd. The aisles were just packed, and he stopped me and said, "I do not know why these people are attacking me. I don't know what I could have done." And the Rapture, the Lord spoke to me and said, "Tell him to repent and humble himself." So I shouted that to him, and then he said it again to me, and then the trumpet blew. There was an earthquake, and I began to go up, and he was, "Help me, help me." And I was telling him, "Pastor, you must humble yourself and repent." And then over the course of time, I contacted him at church. That was that morning on a Sunday morning. He was giving his Thanksgiving Day sermon. We come to church, and he's wearing those clothes from my dream. He says that. He stops in the middle of his sermon, steps out, and he's wearing those clothes. And he steps out, and he puts his hands out and says, "I know there are people attacking me in this church, and I don't know why." So I talked to him about it. I contacted him. We talked. And he said, "Oh, the dream's not true, and God told me he needed $200 more a month, and that his wife and his daughter were suffering from some kind of shared sexual sin or something." And I was trying to advise him, and he rejected the whole thing. A week later, he called me back and said, "You're absolutely right. All that was true, even the $200. And then he says, "I don't know if I'm going to even make it in the rapture or if the Lord comes." And the Lord spoke to me and said, tell him to repent and humble himself, or he will quit the ministry. And so I told him that, and he said, "I will never quit the ministry. I've been a minister for 15 years. I was a youth minister before. I'm an ex-drug addict," all this stuff. Then 2 weeks later, he came in and resigned from the church. Okay, so I made my video about the Lord coming because I saw the gold Christmas garland, and I thought, it's got to be near Christmas. Why is God putting this in the dream about the gold Christmas garland with everything else that happened? It all happened except the rapture. Then the Lord reminded me the other day, he said, Gary, I told you in the very first dream that, he said, when they come to take your house, my house, and they propose to take mine, the Lord's house, you will know that it is in the end of time and there is no more time. Now, he said, how could the rapture happen that year when they hadn't proposed to take your house? In fact, you had $16,000 in the bank and your house payment was $400. And you had no electrical bills. Because I had solar equipment on my house that paid my electricity. And so I was like, yeah, you're right. I didn't think about that. So when we have these dreams from the Lord, a lot of times we get our own thoughts caught up in them, right? And we misinterpret because you're trying to see the will of God. And that's what God said to Aaron and Miriam. He said, when I speak to a prophet, I speak to him in dark, hidden things. Why does God do that if he's trying to reveal his will? All these people are attacking me over this Efrain guy, and nobody has researched it to see how much terror he's caused these people. Oh, you're a false prophet because you said he'll die. I did not say he's going to die. I put that as a title to get people to come to that, to look at it, so I could free some people from the nonsense of this crazy man. Do you get it? I love all you guys. I want you to know about the Lord. I'd much rather be talking to you about his word. Look at this. Jesus and the apostles were there, and Jesus asked them, did they understand about the little bit of the leaven getting in the lump? And all the apostles believed that Jesus was talking about, oh, we forgot the bread this time like we did before. Who got the bread? And they began to argue, and Jesus said, hey, I'm not talking about the stupid bread to feed these people that are here. I'm talking about the leaven from the Pharisees being in people's lives. You see, there's the apostles, and do you think the Lord didn't know they were going to already argue? You think God doesn't know every single thing that's going to happen? He does know. The Lord is coming. That is the point. They came, they're filed papers to take my house. There's the papers. He said, when they proposed it, when they come to take your home, and they propose to take mine, you will know it is the end of time. Here's the deal to take my home. Right now, part of the peace deal is to give them East Jerusalem and the Temple Mount, which was God's last home on earth when Herod was here, and they pushed it off